Here's Phil in North Charleston. Phil, say hello to Booby Nash.
Well, hello, Booby Nash. It's so good to hear your voice again.
Well, thank you, Phil.
Well, I got to tell everybody, the first time I came in contact with Booby Nash, and hopefully, Booby, you'll remember this, I'm sure it was a publicity stunt to some degree, but they put you in a camper in St. Andrew's Shopping Center like you were an animal at the zoo where people could come by and look at you, where you stayed for several days.
Yeah, thanks for the peanuts, too. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that wasn't peanuts.
they were poison mushrooms, right?
Yeah, they were. Damn it, you didn't eat them.
Well, Phil, let me ask you, Booby, what about that? If somebody
Yeah,
remembers
that was, thanks, Phil, for remembering that. That was Easter seals. We were raising money. I spent 2.5 weeks in a camper. Now, when you think of a camper, we're not talking about Winnebago or that. We're talking about a shell on the back of a pickup truck.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And the windows were small, and you could go by and peer in, and he would come, and you'd see just 2 pairs of eyes and a nose looking at you.
Hey, Phil, thanks for the buzz, buddy.
All right.
I appreciate it. You know, let me, because we've all done things in our radio career like that, doing those kinds of things. What are the 1 or 2 most memorable things that you did in your radio career that sort of stand out with the memories of either making a difference, making an impact, helping out a charity, doing some crazy stunt? Give me a Booby Nash story or two.
I did a lot of charity work just because it was fun. I stayed awake for a solid week. That was at Serendipity Waterbeds. It was a promotion for their waterbeds. Plus, it was raising money for I can't even remember.
You stayed awake for a solid week.
For a solid week, yes. A hypnotist would hypnotize me and tell me that I slept for 8 hours, and I would go for another 8 hours.
By the way, I heard that if you don't sleep for a long time like that, it causes your hair to fall out.
Not true. not true. Well, the hair that I used to buy never fell out. It would slip off once in a while, but it never fell out. Then there was the time that I broadcast from underwater in a tank. They submerged me underwater with one of those big helmets on and the microphones up in there, and I was in there for a while. I became so wrinkled in there. You can't stay in water that long. I forget how many hours.
There's shrinkage, so I've heard, yes.
Yes.
Wrinkles and shrinkage, yes, so I've heard.
I don't want to go into detail about that.
Why do you love radio?
It's a land of make-believe. When I was in radio, it was all make-believe. I enjoyed making people laugh. The attitude was, we're having a party. But I was the only one in there. So you have people all around you coming in.
Yeah, but that's why I go into radio. I was like, I could sit in a room by myself and not be bothered by anybody. And now all of a sudden I've got John Quincy and Fred Story, and I got people watching us on Comcast C2 and the anonymity but there is something magic about sitting in a room and talking to a microphone, and you are by yourself, but you're having interactions with thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
Right, and you're using your mind as an imagination, and so I was a one-man party. I just enjoyed it. Believe it or not, I would do things that would make me even see, because we would work long hours. When I first came to Charleston in 1966, I worked from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m., and then we signed off. I had the Booby Nash Showgram Part 1, and at 10 o'clock we would go to Part 2. The difference was nothing, but I made it seem like, if you missed Part 2, it was out.
That's genius, right? That is genius, right? I got to remember that. Yeah. Welcome to Part 2 of the Morning Buzz. I'm Richard Todd with Booby Nash, and we welcome back with us here on the Morning Buzz and back to the big talker, former WTMA newsman Tom Barry. Tom, say hello to Booby Nash.
Who?
Tom Barry.
Boob, it's good to talk with you again, my friend.
Yes, it sure is good to talk with you. You're in Columbia, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am in Columbia, still working for state government here.
I'm sorry.
I actually came to WTMA back in 69, 70 time frame, right after Bill Sharp left, and I replaced Bill in the newsroom. Booby was one of the WTMA good guys. I was one of the TMA really adequate guys.
Oh,
just working back in the newsroom when we were on Orange Grove Road. But
that's not true. You were more than adequate. You could drink as well as the rest of us.
Well, I did what I could, but it was hard to keep up.
Yes.
It was just one of those things. But I can tell you, you were talking while I was listening before we came on. I can remember walking by the control room from time to time when they would let us out of our little news cubbyhole, and I could see Booby, who had times would come in just sick as a dog, and I remember an occasion with John Trenton when John was doing mornings, the same way, would be just sick as a dog, head on the console while a record was playing. But when that microphone went on, it was magic. And Boob, you're absolutely right. That's what radio is. It's magic. It's theater of the mind, and that's why I loved it so much, and to this day still love the business. But it's just one of those wonderful things. And it was such a great honor to be able to work with such great people like you and John Trenton and Ted Bell and Bob Riley and all of the other wonderful folks that came through.
Wait a minute. This is about me. This is about me this time.
What did you say your name was? I also remember the rugs, and some of them were pretty good.
You did it again, Tom. You caught me speechless when you said that. Yeah, some of the rugs were pretty good. You know, we were doing a promotion out at I think it's Frankie's Fun Park now or that. Mm-hmm. But Tom, I don't know whether you were with us when we were doing the water skis out there. They had a big lake out there, and we were out there doing promotions, and I was on a water scooter. What do you call them?
What jet ski?
Jet ski, yeah. And that's when they were first coming out.
Right.
A big deal. And I was riding along, and I fell off. And when I came up, everybody had their hands on their foreheads trying to look. They said there was this big shiny thing. My hair had fallen off and sunk, and I was coming up bald-headed, and the sun was beaming off my head.
People were averting their eyes.
Yes.
Well, Tom, I really appreciate you calling in this morning as a part of the WTMA 70-year retrospective and your time here at the Big Talker, and especially calling in because you worked with this guy, you know, Booby Nash, and I appreciate you giving us a buzz.
You didn't call collect, did you, Tom?
I'll send you the bill.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom, great to talk to you.
Take care, friends.
Bye, Tom.
That is Tom Barry, former WTMA newsman, and I'm here with Booby Nash, one of the legends in the 70-year history of the Big Talker. 556-1250 is our phone number. Give us a buzz. Join the conversation. I'm Richard Todd, and more of our 70th birthday celebration continues. WTMA News Time is 9:23.
Rocky D.
Handicap parking abuse. State Senator Vincent Sheehan.
The main areas we've seen abuse was people getting handicap parking placards who, frankly, should not have been getting.